It's 2 p.m. Detroit, and you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Good afternoon. Welcome in. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. You see the face over there? That's not Ryan Ermanni. That is Anson Wells, Michigan State's own. How you doing, big guy?
I am excellent. Nice to have you back here.
It's been a minute, man, since we've done the show together.
Yeah, it's been like 2 weeks. I was here Friday. That was it. But it's real nice to be back with you and Maz.
Good to be back with you. Also good to be back with the team. Tom Mazaway, as mentioned by Anson Wells. How you doing, big guy? How was your weekend?
I'm good, Bray. It was good, man. Nice, relaxing weekend. Gorgeous weather. Saturday was warm, but yesterday was so beautiful. It was a great day yesterday, and today is outstanding outside. I mean, they could bottle this day up for me.
365 of these.
Yep.
It is definitely type of weather, like 75, 76, a light breeze, sun's out.
Fabulous.
A little bit of cloud cover, but it is beautiful day.
Pure
With that being said, KG, how you doing over there, man?
Hey, I'm good, man. Had a relaxing weekend as well. Got to do the Red Wings draft party on Friday. A lot of turnout there. It was real fun, man.
What was that like? Talk to me about it. What was the energy around the people? Were they clamoring for Stevie Y's hit, or was it more so they were excited about the future?
A lot of people believe in Iser playing still, man. So, yeah, man, they were just hopeful that he would get a good pick. It seemed like they got a good kid, and, yeah, signed Patrick Kane. So it's a lot of optimism with the Red Wings this weekend.
KG throwing out some of those teasers right there. Patrick Kane does sign a deal, a one-year deal worth up to $6.5 million with the Red Wings. We'll get into some more of that. Some moves being made by Stevie Y. Also some moves made by the Detroit Pistons. But just kind of going around the room. Somebody had a camp this past weekend. I wasn't able to attend. But, James, tell me, how was the camp? What did you achieve? And just some of the highlights, if you will.
Yeah, man, lost my voice for one, so I apologize. But, no, we had a lot of fun. 100 kids showed up, 3 days worth of financial literacy. So went over basic money management, a little bit about the stock market, and then talked about manifesting and starting with why. And then on the football side of things, really broke down specific technique things. Kids understand.
He's out there yelling at those kids, man.
Clearly. I was, man. We were struggling with
we
were struggling with cover 2 and cover 3 concepts, Bray. So and a couple of receivers, were running their own routes. Everyone wants to run that fly route.
Yeah.
The ins and outs aren't too popular, but
right.
no, man. Overall, the kids were great. Folks were good, and I was able to feed all the kids, so no complaints here, man.
James, great job by you, man. Great job by having this camp, being able to talk to these kids, give them some financial literacy. Also talk to them on the field, but talk to them like men off the field. What do you find is the hardest part when you're working with kids? Because a lot of times listening seems to be the thing. Get them to listen, get them to pay attention, not asking the right questions. Like, what is the hardest part of doing these type camps?
I would say the hardest part is making sure it's engaging, right? You got to keep the kids interested, and one of the ways you do that, and we talked about it, is having them participate in their own learning process. So when we talked about recruitment and things, we did a lot of role playing. So our coaches who are current college players or NFL guys, acted as college coaches, and we had the kids come up, introduce themselves, sell themselves. So what we asked them to do is answer 2 questions. What makes me different, and why should the coach care? Because at the end of the day, everybody, there's a lot of kids trying to do the same thing in terms of playing college football, playing in the NFL. Like, you got to have a word that makes you different, right? What's the one word to describe you?
I love it. I think back, Anson and Maz and KG, I think back at the camps that I attended when I was younger. Jerome Bettis did a camp, long time here. He kind of took over for the Reggie McKenzie camp, same thing, but sitting in those camps. And Maz, a lot of these kids, they don't listen. and this was, I think, granted I had 2 fathers, I had 2 mothers, and also my dad would be at these camps. So I couldn't be as bad as some of these kids, but I think the older you get, you realize you got to listen, you got to dial into these messages, because the time from that message to the time to implement that message, not really that long. So I'm glad I listened. I wish I would have kept listening, but at least I listened at that age, man. So a lot of fun.
It worked for you, though.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
What would be the one word that you would describe yourself to, Coach, at that age?
Special.
That's a good question.
Special.
Right. Not wrong.
Special. Yeah, but what do you do with that special? I think that's when you have coaches like James, coaches like the people that attended the camp to help out. That's when you pull on that. Okay, you gave me that one word. Now what does that mean? Now, how does that relate to you? How are you special? How can I add to being special? So that would have been my answer, but.
One more.
Yeah, go ahead.
At what age did you know you were special?
That's a good question. 12?
12?
Yeah.
Must be nice.
Right? For real.
Well, realistically, my dad.
That's right around the age that I realized I wasn't going to be in the NBA.
But realistically speaking, Maz knows my father at Stan Edwards. So I grew up in a pro sports household. So, I had dad. I saw what dad was able to do in college. I saw what he was able to do in the pros. So you just naturally think some of that you have, right, Maz?
Hell yeah.
You're like, all right, that's my dad.
Stan's not going to let you sit on your rear end
Right.
and not be your best.
Not to mention
not
dad.
be driven.
Dad started working
on,
track,
man.
football, baseball. I started going to batting cages when I was 8, 9. I was running track when I was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I ran track in Michigan. So just to see the work being put in at 12 years old, for me, that was like 4 years worth of work of already working with my dad, batting cages, getting to the next level, leaving Georgia, moving back to Detroit, and kind of seeing how I was ahead of the Detroit kids, at least in baseball.
Sure.
Like, baseball was huge in Georgia. I moved up here to Detroit, not so much. So I'd say 12.
All right. My old man's amazing, but he used to shoot threes like Rick Barry. So
underhand.
Yeah, we didn't get a whole lot of hoops in together. He just drove me to the games.
My mom texted, man, she said I was going to say 12. So mom verified.
You hit it on the button.
Mom definitely verified it. Good weekend. Mostly my niece celebrated her second birthday party. We did that at my parents' house, Little Rain. I have pictures, but I didn't send them in, so that's on me. I'll send them tomorrow. But great time. My sister did a heck of a job. They did a paint party in the garage, so it was tons of kids, man. Well, I'm at that space now, Maz, where, there's tons of kids around. It's like the young adults now. Yeah. It's like the adults that are married are like 30, 31, 32. Yeah. They have 2-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. So it's just great to be in the Uncle Bray space. My mom, my sister, and Cam. Shout out to Cam, who set everything up. He is a tremendous father. They had a great time at his birthday party, and it was fun to sit back, relax, and kids.
He's a good brother-in-law.
Oh yeah, he is. No, if he heard you say brother-in-law, he'd be pissed at you. He just likes brother, so we'll call him brother. But fun time. Rocket Mortgage was fun. Fridays always great to see the city live, and each year has been better for the Rocket Mortgage outing. So good weekend all together. But now, I think it's time to talk a little bit of sports. We teased it earlier, but big NBA day. So I think it's best that Anson Wills is in today. The Pistons now have a head coach. Maz, take it away.
How about it, man? It was the first guy they interviewed. It's the first guy we all mentioned on the show, J.B. Bickerstaff. We all were scratching our head. Why'd the Cavaliers let him go? I mean, he took him far.
Yeah.
And this team was ready to get to the next step, I guess. Ownership, the general manager in Cleveland thought maybe now I want to get somebody else. And I forgot who even Cleveland brought in, to be honest with you.
Kenny Atkinson.
Kenny Atkinson from the Nets, right?
Yep.
From the Nets or from the Warriors.
Golden State.
Yeah, from the Warriors.
Formerly.
So they bring him in. I don't know what he's got that JB don't have, but I'm happy that the Pistons got this guy. This guy can work with a young team. And now they signed a couple of veterans. We'll get to that in a minute. But the Pistons today are a hell of a lot better than the Pistons before they signed Trajan Langdon. That's a fact.
Before we get to the players that signed, the deals that were signed, because there were some deals, and we will talk about that, some familiar faces coming in as well. First thought when you hear the hire, Anson Wells, J.B. Bickerstaff, you know what he's done in Cleveland. First thought, J.B. Bickerstaff, he's out, the Pistons coach, go.
This feels like when we got rid of Rick Carlisle. We get to that point. Indiana feels like they are a team that's ready to ascend and they want to win that Eastern Conference championship. Now, JB's been all over.
Yeah.
He's been all over. Record, yeah. He's been an interim coach 3 times. So that tells you that they liked him where he was. They had a problem. They didn't have an issue putting him in charge. When you look at his tenure at Cleveland, he started off as an assistant head coach. The bubble year he takes over was 11 games as an interim coach. Next season, they're under 500, but the last 3 seasons, this is a surging team, above 500. It's been able to figure out how to take their young talent and parlay that into playoff success. This guy gets a raw deal, and the Pistons take advantage of it. This just totally feels like Carlisle leaving the Pistons back in 03, 04.
Yeah, hey, don't forget, the last time they signed an ex-Cavaliers head coach, it was Chuck Daly.
Yes, it was.
Just to let you know.
Daddy
Chuck
Ricks.
Daly. So let's see.
There we go.
Let's see what JB can do with this motley crew.
Do they have a late beer we can steal too?
Hopefully he can bring in some of that.
That would be nice.
Yes, it would.
Daddy Rich's skill and what he did with the Pistons in the 80s and the 90s.
Damn.
First thought is exactly what you said. It talks about the player growth, the player development. I think that's what we've been looking at the Pistons the last 7 years or so. Young team, a lot of development, and coaches that were not necessarily patient. Look, Dwayne Casey, he didn't come here to coach young guys. He didn't come here to coach babies, and you got to think about that. When he got fired, he did what he could. It's not why he came here. And then you look at Monty Williams throwing a lot of money to come in and coach a team of kids, basically that's trying to figure it out. You're trying to figure out these kids, even NBA kids, as we're trying to figure out with Killian Hayes. They work with Jared Allen. They work with Darius Garland there in Cleveland. I like that with Bickerstaff. A lot of hands-on stuff. So you see growth out of those players. That's what you got here. You got Jaden Ivey. How are you going to grow him? Cade Cunningham, who we'll talk about in a second. How are you going to grow him as your featured player? How are you going to go Jalen Duren, who missed a lot of time in the last 2 years? So I think growth, J.B. Bickerstaff, the first thing I saw. And then also, too, they've been above 500 down there in Cleveland the last couple of years, and that is in the East, the same conference that this team is in. So, man, as I look at that and I say, yesterday or last week we talked about, it seems like for as much as he can have because of the owner, and we talk about, arm tell him and whatever, but it seems like Trajan Langdon has a plan.
He does.
Seems like he's coming here with a plan, and it seems like now that he's been in front of that microphone, he's been implementing his plan a little bit at a time. I got to say, I'm comfortable, not confident, but comfortable right now.
Yeah.
They're not going to win 14 games next year. They're going to win a lot more than that. I don't know how many, but they're going to be more competitive. It's going to be a lot better to watch. And yesterday, early morning, that's when the news broke, and that's when Woj came out on ESPN and told us about J.B. Bickerstaff.
Told that the Detroit Pistons are hiring J.B. Bickerstaff as their next head coach. Won 99 games in the last 2 years in Cleveland, 2 trips to the playoffs, including the Eastern Conference semifinals this year. Trajan Langdon, the new president with the Pistons, when they dismissed Monty Williams, J.B. Bickerstaff was the first coach they brought in. He really sold this organization on his ability to not just develop young players, but coach veterans. And listen, Bickerstaff had an outstanding run. You saw the incremental improvement in Cleveland. Now he becomes the new Pistons head coach.
All right, Woj, thank you so much.
And I think the big thing behind that, man, is you got a coach now, you have a system, and it's all about having a plan. Like when you have a plan, things get done, and it seems like Trajan Langdon has a plan. He hires a coach that's used to developing younger minds, younger players. He understands that. He hires a coach who's a shooting coach. You look at what the New Orleans Pelicans have done over the past 4 years. They've been in the top 10 in the NBA as it relates to three-point shooting each of the last 4 years. This past season, I want to say they finished 4th. So you bring in a guy to help the shooting. You bring in a guy to help the young guys. You're starting to see something transform down there. And also, they bring in some former players. The Detroit Pistons bringing in Tobias Harris for 2 years, $52 million. KG, I want to start off with you.
We should play Welcome Back, that Welcome Back Tyler song.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Tobias.
Welcome back. Who did that? Was it Mace redid that?
Yeah,
when he came back from being Pastor Mason, if you will. Tobias Harris is a guy that we know. He was here 7 years ago, and now he's come back, not necessarily the same guy he was then, but what do you think about the move to bring Tobias Harris back as a veteran guy that's been around some deep playoff runs?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't what I wanted initially, but we as Pistons fans have to realize the market was drying up. There's not much you could do. Tobias Harris is a guy that can come in. He can help you with shooting. He can help you a little bit defensively, and he's going to contribute, man. So I think all in all, it's a good signing. He's not making the same money he was making with Philly, so that's a plus as well.
$26 million. You're getting paid.
Yeah, but it's a 2-year deal. It's not as bad as 36 or 40, upwards of 40 million. So I would take that all day, man. He's going to come in. He's going to contribute. Maybe after a year, you can come off that contract. It's going to work for right now, man. So it is what it is.
What do you expect? What are you expecting out of Tobias Harris? You're talking about a guy at one point when he was here at the Pistons, you kind of saw where he could potentially go. And then we saw that dream fulfilled. Once he got to the Clippers, he became an all-star caliber player. He goes to the 76ers. Seemed like he's been on a bit of a decline about the last 3 years. But like KG said, he's a guy that does typically play both ends of the floor. And overall for his career, he's a pretty good shooter. What do you think about him now?
The thing for me that's most important here is this is a guy that not only was willing, but wanted to return to Detroit.
Yeah.
And that's huge right now. You know, people are saying, should we have given Cade the max or not? You can't get a max player in the NBA at all if you're the Detroit Pistons outside of a ridiculous trade or the draft. So you have to keep him. Now you look at the tiers of the free agents this summer, a couple guys, the cream of the crop, they were gone. We never had a shot. But then that next grouping, he's firmly in there, Tobias. And the fact that he wanted to come back here when we have a team full of 23 and unders, this guy's not only going to help us with our perimeter shooting, going to help us with some interior and even extended defense, good rebounder, but he is going to come in and not be a guy who's, you know, a stranger to Detroit, but he's familiar with the administration, familiar with the facility. He's familiar with the city, and he's going to be able to come in here not just as a veteran player, but as a veteran of Detroit and a veteran of the Pistons. So he's going to do more than what you just see on the basketball court. I think that this signing, and when you go a little bit further into bringing back another Michigander and Tim Hardaway, you've got two guys that they're not at the top of their careers. You know, they're on the downslide. They're still very effective players. And what they can bring to the mentality of this young group of Pistons, I mean, I can see more than 25 wins with these guys in here. They need another player. Yeah. But this could be even a 30-win team. And I know that's not exciting. But it's a big jump. I really think that these two guys alone just change the mentality and the way that this whole team is going to function.
I love your optimism, Anson, but slow down over there, sir. Slow down.
You know, I believe that red, white, and blue, man.
Tom Masway, he brings up a very good point. I know you are Pistons royalty over here, so I have to give you that respect.
Appreciate it.
But he brings up a good point. You know, Monty Williams didn't want to come here, per se. He was throwing money, and eventually he came here. Players don't typically want to run here. Ryan Ermanni talked about last week. It's an agent-driven league. Agents tell their clients where to go. Agents have told their players not to work out for here, et cetera, et cetera. But it seems like Bickerstaff wants to be here. It seems like they got the coach right in that sense. It seems like Tobias Harris, obviously he got paid here, but at the same time, he wanted to come here. He asked to come here. I think this is what getting off on the right foot looks like for Trajan Laney, getting players and coaches that want to be here and understand they're coming to Detroit. There's a lot of negative things said about Detroit from the record to how they are in the league and what they love, but it still seems like he's doing it the right way so far.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, this isn't.
It's tough sledding.
I know, but you're coming here to Detroit. Detroit's new, man.
Yeah.
This ain't old Detroit.
Okay.
You got a beautiful building to play in. You have a wonderful practice facility, one of the best in the league.
I was down there on Friday getting an MRI.
There you go. How'd it go?
I'm nervous.
Okay.
But on the 17th, me and Doug can sit there and talk about what happened with the shoulder, maybe some tear in the rotator cuff. I'm not going to claim that. But
from golf?
Weights golf.
From ball golf?
I lift weights too now. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah. Which one was it though? Did you hurt it on the green or did you hurt it in the gym?
I've been complaining about this for the last 2 months.
Yeah. I haven't heard it, so I'm looking for an answer. The gym or the links?
Lifting weights.
Okay, let's stick to that.
That's what he's sticking to.
Anyway,
stick to that answer.
Beautiful facility down there in the performance center.
It's not like you come into a rundown establishment. True. Sure, they're at their worst right now. You can only go up from 14 wins. You can only go up. They're going to get another high draft pick next year. I don't even know what next year's draft looks like. I guess we'll figure that out. But they're going to add some players now. If they can like double their win total to 28 or so and just be a little bit competitive, then maybe you could start having some guys here to come here. You know, at the trade deadline, Hardaway will probably get dealt.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe Tobias Harris might get dealt. Who knows? He's got $52 million. We just ate $65 million. So I don't think money is the issue right now for Tom Gores.
Yeah.
I mean, look how much money this Pistons team is worth. Would they sell it? He bought it for like $300 million. It's worth $3 billion now.
Yeah,
so
it's just under 3.5.
And you know the Boston Celtics are for sale, by the way.
Yeah.
They're going to get sold. The guy bought it for
$360
million. They're going to go for $5 billion. So NBA franchises are on the upswing right now. It's a good time to be in the NBA. You're going to get a new deal here pretty soon, television-wise. Things are looking up here in Detroit. That's all. You know what? You're a 14-win team. You got screwed in the lottery 2 years in a row, and now you're finally starting to get some semblance of a team. You know you got a coach here that wants to be here, and you got some players that want to be here, and they're going to pay Cade. The word on the street is he's going to get himself a max contract coming up. That's the next move. I don't know if you guys like that or not, but Why the hell not?
Yeah.
Keep the guy you drafted with your number 1 pick.
You got to do it. And for all those reasons you just spoke of, I do think that the Pistons are finally on the right track. We've got a coach that's right in that pocket in his career where he's ready to take on a franchise without anybody looking over his shoulder and really put his stamp on that team. Now, you just mentioned that you think that they'll double their wins. I'm looking at Vegas, and they say 28.5 is the over-under for the Pistons wins this year. Where do you find us on that?
Before I start with that 28.5, I want to get back to you introduced the deal, Cade Cunningham, and Maz, you brought up again, potentially 5 years, $225 million deal, max on the floor. Doesn't necessarily have to be signed this year, but maybe you sign an extension. Where are you with that? Because this is where I start. I like the fact, and I remember this from the press conference, I was listening to this nugget. Trajan Langdon said when he come in, evaluation. Evaluation was the word he used. Everybody's under evaluation. And by that, I think he means Cade Cunningham as well. Do you want to do like non-smart organizations and double down on the question mark that you have? Or do you want to do it like the smart organizations, like the 49ers who got rid of Trey Lance because they knew what they didn't have? Is it a situation where you want to pay this man and be signed $226 million? Or do you want to wait and see if he's worth it?
It's really an important question. When you look at those franchises, they've been smart so long that they can handle losing someone like Cade. The Pistons are in a position of such a desperate nature in a league where you look at the past drafts and there's 3 to 5 really strong players that come out per draft, and those are the better drafts.
Yeah.
Whole lot of, role players and mid guys. But when it comes to landing an all-star caliber guy, and I know he wasn't an all-star yet, but if you look at his numbers, he easily matched and probably surpassed the bottom 3-4 guys on the Eastern roster for the all-star game. This is the only max-type player in the NBA that the Pistons can get their hands on, and it's because we drafted him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you lose him, there's no one that you can go out and sign. In order to obtain one, you're going to have to trade how many first-round picks that we have that aren't protected, because there's a few that we lose if we fall out of the 12. The Pistons are just in that position where they've been dumb long enough where they can't play like a smart team. They have to keep this kid. Now, at the same time, a lot of people, there's plenty of questions around Cade, but Cade's been surrounded by children with the entirety of the Pistons' responsibility offensively and defensively put on his shoulders.
And bad vets.
When you mix in some of these guys that have some experience, some guys like Tim Hardaway, some guys like Tobias, we'll see who else fills in here. With a new coach that figures out how to use Cade, I truly believe that when he's asked to do less, he's going to become much more.
You know what? I appreciate that. That actually is, that's well said. Because you look at it, that's what we keep talking about. They can't get people to come to play in Detroit. They can't get the top-tier players. They can't get the second-tier players to come here and give them max deals. The max deal that you have is a guy that you draft in Cade Cunningham. And also, too, I think we're looking at money, the big money, and not understanding money is even bigger now. 226 sounds like a ton, and it is a lot of money. But now you're getting deals that are about to start being upwards of 600, 650, and 585. So to your point, I like the deal. You bring Cade back, and you see what you have in Cade Cunningham. And also, too, now to answer your question, and I'll take it to Maz after, 28.5 wins, 14, some injuries. Jalen Dorr didn't play a lot early on in the season. I think you have a coach that's going to do some player development. I think the players just naturally get better with working with J.B. Bickerstaff. I think the shooting, that wins you a couple more games. Bringing in Tobias Harris, let's say he and Tim Hardaway Jr., let's say that they come and play. Let's say that they're not dealt off or they're not traded before trade deadline. Tobias, remember what it was like here. And then here's remember like it was when he was in the Clippers, when he was in the 76ers. If they get the guys to listen to Tobias Harris, if he comes in and wants to maybe take on that role, I think that buys you 2 to 3 to 4 more wins. And then Tim Hardaway Jr., shout out to the amazing Blue, go Blue. They just say we look alike. I never saw it. I didn't say it was a bad thing. You know what I'm saying?
You're more handsome, bro.
And, Tim, hold on. Tim's a little, he's a little homie. Like when they were winning, or when they almost won, they used to hang out with those guys back in the day. But
what is he, 6'6"? He taller than you?
He's taller than me. I don't know he's about 6'6".
He's slimmer though.
He's a strong 6'5".
Yeah.
Say strong 6'5". But you get him to play. He's a guy. He's a role player that can come in here and role play. 28.5 from 14, even with a new coach, new system, new shooting.
I'm going over.
I know you want to.
It's cornbread.
I'm gonna fall just a little short. I think 26. I say it's just tough. It's tough when we've watched them and we've been analyzing these Pistons now, Maz, in this show for 4 years. And we watched 17 wins when they tried to tank. They didn't try to tank and only won 14. I understand the coaching is different. 26 is where I'm at, Tom Mazaway.
Hey, man, it's early.
Yeah.
Let's let them breathe. But you know what? 26 to 30 wins is very feasible.
No, you're held to a number.
28 and a half. Okay, fine. 20. I'll say 30 wins. How's that?
I'm on that.
30 wins. But by the way, Sham Charania of The Athletic, it is official. Pistons have signed Cade Cunningham.
That's right, okay.
5 years, $226 million.
Face of the franchise.
They had to do it.
And
now
also,
he's actually got a couple of adults to talk to on the team.
Yeah, and people that want to coach him, you know?
Yep.
yeah, and this is good too. I think you see this, KG. You learn from the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
You learn. You learn. You can't learn anything from them yet.
You're right.
You learn from the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions. They knew what they had in Amon-Ra St. Brown, what he deserves. Panay Sewell, Jared Goff, etc. You pay those guys. You keep the morale high. I think you look at what Cade Cunningham's done when he's played. He's done all that he can, but he's a young guy working with young guys. You've dumped a lot in his lap. I think you've seen leadership skills. Yeah. I think you've seen a guy that plays on both ends of the floor, defense and offense. And I think you've seen the guy that needs help, but wants to be here. And has been professional.
Yeah.
He has been a young professional the whole time he's here. Pay the man what he's worth. I think this is a good contract and he deserves it.
Yeah, and he's improved every year statistically. He raised his 3-point percentage over the last year. A lot of people want to complain, oh, he's injured, oh, he's this. He had one injury, guys, and yes, he was out for a year, but he showed this last season that he can stay healthy and be a good part of the rotation. So, I mean, you had to do it, man, and people are tripping over the number. You look at Scotty Barnes, who, yes, he won Rookie of the Year, but hasn't really accomplished much else. He's getting 270.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is just what happens when you have a rookie on the max contract, man. This is just part of it. But they needed to keep Cade because I'm not in the market of trying to find another 1A or number 2 player because it was hard enough just trying to find Cade. Like, look how long it took us to just get a Cade Cunningham in this organization, man. So, lock the guy up. Let's roll.
That's our only number 1 pick, right? In a long time. You might as well take advantage of it.
History, 67.
Right. Exactly. Take advantage of it.
Jalen Rose's father.
This is very true. You know what? Let's talk a little bit more about the Pistons. I actually want to ask Power Neck, who's about to do this next read. I want to ask him, just player to player, what does he see when he sees Cade Cunningham? But first, let's get a read out of that same individual.
Swiss. That's right. Come down to Swiss Insurance for all your insurance needs. Now more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss Insurance will make sure your carrier is not slipping in extra fees. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today at 313-530-1698. That's right, 313-530-1698. SwissINS.com. SwissINS.com.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around. Who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of. And guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Feeling the financial pinch? Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help you. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White and Associates today, 248-290-8242, or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today, 248-290-8242, to make your dreams come true.
Awesome. It's when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in and sit back and relax and let one of the Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's, it is wicked awesome. Back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. My man Anson Wells filling the desk. Actually, you'll be in all week, so we might as well change it for the sake of the week to Edwards and Wells with Maz. Just for the week.
I still think we got too good of first names.
You like that? Ermanni is hard to beat, man.
I like
Although
Edwards and
Anson
Anson.
or Anson and Edwards works.
Anson and Edwards?
Yeah.
Braylon and Anson, though, man.
All right. I'm not used to going.
How about the guy that
Michigan
puts the show together?
With Maz.
Maz too. Maz too, baby.
Hold on. I
Slash
said
Maz.
Maz. I said with Maz. I said with Maz.
Love me some Maz.
All right. And with that said, we're off.
It's all yours on Friday, Pete.
You can have it on Friday. James, I was asking before the show, just player to player, what do you see in Cade Cunningham? Do you believe that Cade is going to be an integral part of what the Pistons build? So when they're finally winning, do you think Cade will be a guy or the guy for the Pistons, excuse me?
I think he will be. And I'd say this is you got a guy who wants to be in Detroit. And I think that's kind of sometimes the toughest hurdle to climb. And I think he has great ball handling skills. Again, you're talking about a guy that averaged 20 points per game.
23.
23. Thank you, KG. I mean, those guys don't just grow on trees. And again, I think you got to have a coach who wants to be there. I think J.B. Bickerstaff will be good. And I think he's a guy that can potentially make his teammates better, right? Is that point guard position, it's very important to have. Is a guy that's able to shoot the ball, but is also able to be a distributor. I think you're seeing a guy who trusts his teammates almost too much. But I think that's what you need in a leader on a team, especially in today's game, in order to have guys want to come play with you. We've mentioned at the Team USA camp, a lot of NBA guys brought up, top players brought up Cade Cunningham. So I got to feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, I like what you said, making your teammates better. I think that's something we haven't had here in Detroit in a very long time, making your teammates better. So that's something I'm going to be watching for. He seems like he has a coach that knows how to coach his age, his level, et cetera. I'm interested to watch that.
Too bad he couldn't bring Donovan Mitchell with him.
Yeah, well, and that's the type of deal where if this doesn't work over the next 2-3 years, I think that Cade will be in a position where you can make that kind of Donovan Mitchell trade, where you bring in crazy assets. But I liked what he said in terms of his reputation with other players to the point where they do want to play with him. I got to say, if this team...
That's true. The first person we heard talk about K like that was KD.
Yeah.
KD was the first person. It was 2 years ago when he came into play. Gave him a lot of respect.
So for me, if this thing really takes off and the Pistons realize excellence again here in Detroit, I think that Cade's the number 2 on that team. His athleticism, what he can do so many things so well.
Yeah.
But he's not a guy that plays above the rim. He's not a guy that can I've seen him kind of take over games, but if this guy is the number 2 option on a team, that's a damn good team.
It's kind of like Danny Granger. Danny Granger was number one until
Granger.
you drafted who? Until you drafted Paul George, and Paul George became the one. Danny Granger became the two.
Granger was good.
I'm gonna tell you like this, and you can say what you want to. If Danny Granger doesn't break his ankle,
Same with Paul George if he didn't have that freak accident.
He broke his ankle last time I checked. The Pacers were up 2-1 on the Heat.
Yeah.
No doubt.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And they were struggling, but Danny Granger. But yeah, to your point, I like that. Because he just doesn't seem like a number one, but he definitely seems like a superstar. He seems like a guy on your team that you need to win games.
How much was Cade making in his rookie contract a year? Do you guys know offhand? Because now he's going to be making, what, over $50 million?
Yeah, but I think he has 1 year left on his original deal.
So from 13 to
on
50.
a team option.
From 13 to 52 million or so.
So you're saying
that's a nice raise.
What?
That's a nice raise.
45.
I ain't never seen a raise
on
like
average.
that.
Okay. Hell of a raise.
So now are you worried that seeing money like that?
No, I believe it. I believe it makes him better even.
Got you.
I do. He got paid. He's comfortable. I believe you'll see the best of Cade Cunningham going forward.
And to speak a little more on the whole subject as well as what my man Luke over there brought up, this guy loves being in Detroit. He's never wavered off of that. You've seen guys like Duren come in and Ivy come into a bad team, but juiced to be here in Detroit. 2 years ago, when it really seemed like this team was about to put it together, you saw him and Killian, I want to say Beef Stew, third row at a Boston Celtics playoffs game, kind of like you saw from the Pistons back in the 86-ish times.
And that that's what's his name? Dwayne Casey took those guys. Said he wanted to see what it was like being in that playoff atmosphere. That's one of the things. Look at this guy. That boy's feeling himself. That's one of the things that Dwayne Casey did. That was
right there.
Hey, what you saw that?
Right.
You saw
he got hoochie daddies.
High knees over there, high knees.
This boy got them. His thighs is dying, as they say.
Cade's been an ambassador for Detroit in a bad situation. There he goes.
He's rapping too.
We all laughing. But no, this is a guy that you got to keep here, not only because you can't get another player like this, not only because he is a great all-star caliber player, but because this guy has embraced Detroit throughout bad times.
Yeah.
JB fits in perfectly. For the Indiana side, it feels like when we got rid of Carlisle, but on the getting rid of George Irvin 2002 side of things, this sounds like bringing in Rick Carlisle. You know, everybody screamed for Ime Udoka and Monty, all these high-profile coaches. This is not a team that is ready for a high-profile guy. JB and the signings so far, the trades, I couldn't be more pleased unless we drafted Cody Williams. And Holland was right there behind him. I'm very, very pleased with the direction they've taken in a pocket where they were limited. There wasn't a whole lot that they could do, but what they've been able to do is everything that we could ask for as Pistons fans.
JB is a Bernie Bickerstaff's kid?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So he's been around the NBA his whole life.
Absolutely, man. I like the move. I really do.
Yeah, he played at Minnesota and Oregon.
Bernie coached the Bullets back in the day, back in my old days.
Listen, at the end of the day, some coaches can develop talent. I take that back. Let me start over again. Some coaches need talent. Some coaches got to have talent on the team. They got to have star players. They got to have and then once they get those star players, they can implement their system.
Sure.
They can work well with those systems, and they can be tremendous coaches. Monty Williams had tremendous success, but you look at the players that he had. You look at the high caliber players that some guys, very few guys, they can develop that talent. I learned that when I played in the NFL. Some coaches, look, they can't coach when they don't have the guys, when they got a young team, where they don't have a quarterback. Some guys know what they're doing, and they know how to move players around, and they know how to get the type of coaching staffs that will help their teams. I think that's what you're saying out of
I just got some great news.
You got some great news, Tom Mazaway? Well, you know what? Deliver that great news, sir. Bring us all in.
It's great news for me, especially.
Okay.
Because I love Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
And if he was going to go to the Lakers, I was going to throw up.
He wasn't going
He picked the Mavericks today.
He did.
Clay's going to the Mavericks, baby.
Yeah, he was looking pretty washed in the second half of this last
$50
season.
million, 3 years. So he's going on the cheap.
Well, you know
but
what,
he joins a championship caliber team in the Dallas Mavericks. I like the move for him.
The NBA free agency is underway. Mavs, you jumped in there with that. Klay Thompson going to the Mavs. You saw what they had down the stretch. They lacked shooting, and you like that third player to really help those guys get it going. It was either Kyrie or it was Luka or it was nothing. That's what we saw in the finals. You add Klay Thompson, you add experience, you add a guy that can be there, and maybe this is a revitalization for him.
Yeah,
I mean, this is a revitalization. Maybe. He can be a third player on this team, and he doesn't. Oh, go ahead, man.
No, please continue.
Yeah, I say he can be a third player on this team. Sometimes you gotta breathe that different air. A lot of things have happened in Golden State over the last 10 years for Klay, especially in the last 5. Sometimes you just need that fresh air, and this could be a fresh air move.
And I think even more importantly is, as a Warrior, he was never going to come off the bench.
Yeah.
His legacy with the Warriors was too important and too large for
Splash
him to
Brothers.
come off the bench.
Yeah.
He should have been coming off the bench last year. Now he's going to go to the Mavs. This is a team that's ready to compete, and he's not going to be the 5th man or the 4th man. He might not even be the 6th man. Coming off the bench, he won't be as exposed defensively. Now, this is a great defensive player, but he's not so much anymore. Trying to create shots off the dribble against top-tier defenders, he struggled with. So now being able to come in with that second unit and being able to fill in towards the end of games when they need that shooting, it's going to give him a little bit of longevity to an already long career, and I think he'll be more effective as a bench piece.
Listen, man, I'm sorry, Bray.
No, go ahead, Tom.
LeBron supposedly called him yesterday at 8 a.m. That's like or 8 p.m. the night before. Whenever free agency was allowed, he called him. So I was like, damn, don't go play with him. Please, don't play with him. Here he is trying to put his teams together again. Thank you, Klay.
Right.
Thanks for going to Dallas.
It would have been interesting if he played for the Lakers only since that his father played there, but Maz is happy. I'm happy
Michael
as well.
Thompson is his father?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
What? You didn't know that?
Michael Thompson with a Y, M-Y.
I know Michael.
You didn't know that? What? Anson Wells?
I
How about
honestly
that?
did not know that. I've never been a big Klay guy, but that makes him a little sexier to me.
How could you not be a Klay guy?
I mean, it's just really hard to look at Klay when the chef is cooking.
He was just as good.
Don't act like he wasn't cooking too. They were in the same kitchen.
Cooking wide open. He was
man?
defending
Like,
and cooking wide open. I just never was a big Klay guy.
Splash Brothers, bro.
Right.
I get it, but I got a Spartan on that squad. I was never a big fan of that team. I just liked watching them beat LeBron.
And there it is. Here we go. You know the interesting thing about this, there was another great 6-man, one of the best 6-men of all time that really revitalized his career when he went to the Mavericks. His name is Jason Terry. So maybe Klay Thompson can have that type of success that JT had.
The Jet,
6-man of the year and help them.
That's a
if it's
good
not for
tag.
Jason Terry, they're not winning the NBA Finals.
Absolutely not.
So maybe that can help.
like that
Other
one.
moves, let's stick in the Eastern Conference because this is the conference that we're in. Paul George last week turned down $51 million extension a year to the Clips. Well, there's a reason why he turned it down. He's going to Philadelphia 76ers to the tune of $53 million a year. He's agreed to a 4-year extension worth $212 million max.
How about that big
contract.
3 now?
So you were talking about Tyrese Maxey earlier. Now you have Joel Embiid.
How about that big 3?
Love that.
Joel Embiid, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey. What say you, Anson Wells?
Tobias was never a big 3. He was a great piece for that team. Again, he's on his decline. I'd like to say that Paul George is on his decline, but the last couple of years
he's been balling.
He has, and he's played most of the
True.
season as well. This is a guy that can handle the rock.
He balled in the playoffs too, not this year, the year before, where Kawhi was out yet again. He balled out.
Yeah.
Like he got to the finals.
That's right.
I guess, yeah.
And this is a
hate.
lockdown defender,
like Paul
guys.
George. I just don't
Why you
think
hating
it'll
on
work.
PG?
I'm not. I don't see it working, man. Philly is snake bit.
Oh, sure, but he's a better piece for them than Tobias. Because that's what he's
but
replacing.
We've seen this before. Jimmy Butler, J.J. Redick, James Harden. I mean, you name it. But if they don't have Embiid, they're not going anywhere. And I just don't trust Embiid to be on the floor.
50-game
I don't.
Embiid.
Hey man, look, last year he won MVP.
Yeah.
He's trying.
He would have won it this year if he stays healthy. But that, to your point, is
He's
a
never
big,
healthy.
big issue with him.
Well, that's good. Maybe he'll be well rested for this season and get it rock and rolling.
And then just their playoff numbers aren't that great. I do understand he did do better this year in the playoffs, but PG and Embiid combined playoff numbers, not that great.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like that there's only one red, white, and blue, and it's the Pistons, and that's why you're hating on the Sixers. I see what it is. That's what it is. It's the same color scheme.
Man,
you guys aren't slick.
Both have 3 championships in Philly here and in Detroit.
I think Philly improved.
I do too.
Yeah.
I like Paul George. Speaking of Paul George, played with OKC.
Yeah.
OKC. They got better. Tom Mazaway, but I know you feel some type of way today as a Knicks fan.
Yep.
Y'all couldn't pay
Isaiah
everybody.
Hartenstein gets a 3-year deal worth $87 million.
Hey, look,
with
I want him to
OKC.
go back to Knicks, but besides that, I want him to come here.
Yeah.
I said to last week, I wish he would have come here. He could have been a hell of a player on this team.
And did what?
He wouldn't have won, though.
True.
He's going to a good situation, man. I can't blame the guy. He's going to the top seed in the West, man. That's a good team, man. You love OKC.
I love them, and this is the piece that they needed. They needed a true stretch 4-5, and they needed a rim protector. I mean, you have Chet, who obviously can protect the rim, and he's also a stretch, but they play him at the 3, they play him at the 4, they play him at the 5. When you get a guy like Hartenstein in there, I mean, it really just shores that team up defensively, outside shooting-wise. Might be that missing piece that gets them out of the Western Conference this year. I would have loved to see Cody Williams go 2 more spots to join up with his brother, but I absolutely love this team to dominate the Western Conference for the rest of this decade. They got a squad.
It's one of those situations when you watch OKC. Now, obviously, we know Detroit Pistons a little bit different than OKC in terms of league doesn't like the Pistons and players don't like the Pistons, so it's tough. With that being said, when you watch OKC, this is how you have to build the franchise. They built it through a ton of draft picks. They built it through the draft. Once they got their picks, they picked up Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with a trade for Paul George. Once again, Pistons don't have pieces like that, but trade Paul George, you get SGA, Chet comes back healthy. Now your team that won 57 games last year. You lead the West, and now you're able to go get Hartenstein, a guy that can be that piece and maybe help you get over the hump in the playoffs. It's a great move, and it's a great story when you watch OKC from the end of, I guess, Russell Westbrook till now. Hell of a situation, a hell of a thing that they did. Somebody else is still looking for rings and still trying to get his hands on one. Seems like he's finally realized he'll never get a ring, but he wants to go where the money is, and that's Chris Paul. Chris Paul signs a deal, 1 year, $11 million to play with Victor Wembanyama.
That's a good move for him.
Yeah.
It's a great move for both of them.
Explain this move. Why is it a great move?
Well, you got a big guy who is doing things that has never been done in the NBA at 7'5", playing the role of a 3, 4, or 5 in Victor Wembanyama. Branham and a couple of the other guys there, I mean, these guys aren't traditional point guards. They're not great pick and roll point guards. And this should be the most dominant pick and roll big man in the history of the NBA when his career is over. And now you got one of the best pick and roll point guards at a time in his career where he doesn't care about scoring. He's not being asked to come and lead this team to a playoff or a finals run. He is only hired and brought into San Antonio to develop the future of the NBA. There is not a better, more selfless match than these two guys. I know we talked a couple weeks ago about this being one of the dirty players and people they don't like. This is either going to blow up in their face, or this is going to be a guy that Victor's talking about 10, 15 years down the road, that he's talking about in Springfield when he's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, about what a major role in his career that this guy played, Chris Paul.
Tom Masaway, now you look back at the move last year, Chris Paul to go play with one of his enemies, Steph Curry. When you look back at that move, what was that? I'm still trying to piece it and figure it out.
I guess maybe he gave up trying to beat him. If you can't beat him, you join him. And originally, I'm like, oh, mate, that might inject a little life into Golden State. It didn't.
Bring him on the second team.
Yeah, they didn't have
make them more efficient.
I think they treaded water last year. It just didn't work. Just didn't work, and that team is, let's face it, they're done. They had their dynasty. It was phenomenal to watch. Some of the best basketball I've ever watched in my entire life, watching those guys. And it's time for a new team. And San Antonio, let's face it, man, we wish we were them. We wish we were them, because Victor should have been ours. I'll say that till I'm done. Victor should have been ours, but he's theirs. And Chris Paul going there is good for him, man. You know what? This might shine some light on him, like Anson said. It might be, maybe he wasn't such a bad guy after all. And he's going to help him. With Pop, he's perfect with Pop.
Definitely aware of Pop. Pop playing, coaching some of those Team USA teams on the assistant staff. So they definitely have a relationship. And everybody in the older realm, the Chris Pauls, the LeBron James, they all respect Greg Popovich.
He might stay there and coach with Pop one of these days.
You just said something, and I think we kind of glossed over, We glossed over something to bring it back. When we talked about Klay going to the Mavericks, we just talked about Klay going to the Mavericks.
That ended
Clay
it.
making the best deal. Man, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's an end of
over.
an era. The
It sure
Splash
is.
Brothers and what
It's
they
over.
were. 2013.
It's heartbreaking.
Who would know Clay would be the first to go
Like,
out
why-
of the trio? I always thought it would maybe be Draymond, but I mean, Clay, the injuries piled up. He's not the same player.
I can see Dre going somewhere else. Draymond going
Yeah.
somewhere else now.
He's probably the next domino to fall.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep Steph Curry probably as most.
Clay
of his
going
career.
to the Mavericks and leaving Steph Curry. What is an equivalent for you in terms of an era and a dynasty in our lifetime?
It'd be like Joe D leaving Detroit.
Going where?
He didn't, but that's what it would have been like.
Oh, okay.
Could you imagine
okay. I
Joe
was-
D
hey,
leaving Detroit?
You see me, I'm like, and where'd he go?
Right.
But I think also too, when you have this, trying to make this comparison, you got to remember that
about
the
Grant
number
Hill
one
leaving?
star, but the number one star is still there.
Yeah.
So it would have to be a situation where the number one star is there, but his Robin, if you will,
Maybe losing Tayshaun.
Yeah.
nah, because they were
Chauncey?
they were a team of 4.
Ben Wallace leaving.
Yeah.
Who left
Chauncey
first?
leaving.
Did
Who
Ben
left?
leave?
Yep.
Did Ben leave first?
I think Ben left before Chauncey.
Scotty leaving the Bulls. Did
yeah,
Jordan
see, that's what
retire
I was
first?
thinking about. But
That's
Jordan
another good
retired
one.
first.
That's
Yeah,
a good
Jordan
one.
retired first.
Yeah,
but
Jordan retired for the second time. He
Yep.
retired first. That's the one I was thinking about.
Look, if I'm Steph Curry,
Yeah.
I don't want to finish my career there now. If I'm an NBA
Without-
team,
yeah.
if I'm an NBA team, I would do anything I can do to get Steph Curry on my team
He might not.
to finish his career with
If
me.
I'm Steph Curry, I'm not leaving.
That's
Not
it.
with,
Yeah.
not with 4 championships, man.
Yeah.
That's,
He is that
that's
franchise.
true legacy. You've taken a team that actually, I believe they won the very first championship. They won another in '76, and then when you add these 4 in, they are one of the elite teams. I think
They're
they're the
6.
third. Or, I'll have to come back on that, but they're
But
top 5 in
yeah, they're top
championships.
100%.
They won with Rick Barry and Clifford Ray.
But
and
they
those
also
guys
won the
back
very
in
first
day.
NBA championship as well. So this is a team that this guy resurrected from complete obscurity in the NBA. I mean, it was the Warriors
bad.
and the Clippers,
Yeah.
you know. People in the modern times, they don't remember a championship in Golden State up until these guys turned into a dynasty. I feel like that would, no matter how much money or any ring he wins somewhere else, he's not going to be the main player on that team. I think that it hurts his legacy. If I was him, I'd be looking for front office space down the road. I'd want to be a lifer as a Warrior.
Yeah, I think you take a page out of Tim Duncan's book, take a page out of Kobe's book. You look, these guys stay with their franchises to the end. Like even when they were no longer the stars, the premier stars, they still stayed and they dealt with whatever came their way. The Lakers were, you know what, when Kobe retired, and San Antonio Spurs were, you know what, when Tim Duncan retired. You stay because of what you built. There's no reason to go anywhere else. There's no need to ring chase. You got 4 of them. You got your MVP. Like you are. Like you said, you are the Golden State Warriors.
And what a short list
Yeah.
you mentioned in
You
the
see, I stopped
2000s,
after 2.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, who has that kind of success with one team and then isn't jettisoned off because you're not that good or whatever the reason you're not being there? There's so few in modern sports in general, but in terms of the NBA, when guys are trying to create super teams and leaving for money, I mean, can we even think of another name?
I'm trying.
Tim Duncan, Kobe, Chef.
Because a lot of the bigger players, and once you get to the 90s and once you get to 2000, a lot of bigger players, they went elsewhere. You look at KG. KG goes to the Celtics and get his ring. KD, he's bounced around a lot, as we know. So
Our best players have been all over the place. I mean, maybe if Embiid can get a championship, that's somebody that we could put into that. Luka could end up being in that.
I don't see Nikola Jokic ever leaving Denver.
Nah. Same.
I can see Luka leaving Dallas. I can never see Nikola Jokic leaving Denver.
And most of these guys, aside from the Joker, we're talking about in the first half of their career still. I mean, who's Ant-Man going to be when he's 29?
Yeah.
Where is he going to be when he's 29?
Also, these players, they're temperamental. They're a lot more temperamental, a lot more money on the table, a lot more temperamental than players from back in the day. It's like, you know what, you want to be like this, I'm going to screw up my social and I'm going to go somewhere else. Yep. One of those temperamental players sticking with the NBA, and we'll get to some NFL stuff next hour. We got some stuff about Jack Campbell, my 33rd team. Maz has been trying to talk about these quarterbacks for the past 2 weeks, so we'll get this in at the top of the hour. But James Harden. James Harden is a guy that goes a lot of places. He decides to stay as opposed to Paul George with the Clippers. 2 years, $70 million. Maz, I open this one up to you. At this point, are you tired of James Harden?
Yeah. He's settling in now. I think he's finally, you know what? He's realizing, hey, I'm in California. I'm in L.A.
He loved that.
I'm working for Steve Ballmer. I'm going to a new gym.
It's true.
They're going to have the best arena in the NBA, in their new arena, the Intuit Dome or whatever they want to call it, the smartest arena ever built. Hell, man, I'd play for the Clippers right now if I was there. I wish Steph Curry would go over to the Clippers and play with them, to tell you the truth. That's how excited I am for the Clippers.
I would say this. I don't want Steph to leave, but if an opportunity and a situation presents itself where he's really got a shot and that I wouldn't mind that. And you look
just
at the,
don't go to the Lakers,
Clippers.
please.
I'm like,
man, he wouldn't go to the Lakers.
I'm just praying that he'll never go play with LeBron.
I've been laughing.
It's kind of like Tom Brady though. Like we were like, it's like I never wanted to see Tom play anywhere else.
That's a good example.
But then Tom goes and he wins a ring. It's like I add that to his legacy. Like I didn't have a problem with it. Like you win a ring, let me add that to the legacy. It's cool.
I've been laughing at people saying they were excited over the Clippers since they drafted Danny Manning. That is some funny stuff, Bass.
And now you're watching Clipped out here.
They got to win one of these years, man.
No,
they gotta.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
They do.
Lions and Clippers.
They almost, exactly. They're gonna have their time, man.
Is there a better team to just represent the bottom in any of the four sports than just going straight to the Clippers?
Yes, there's plenty of better teams.
No. There's no worse team over our lifetime that you could just be like, man, they're the Clippers of the.
How about the Tigers?
No, the Tigers got a ring.
Yeah.
How about the Lions? It hurts because it's true.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. Now you can put the Browns in there.
If you take out that 12
you can put the Browns in there as well.
Absolutely.
Man, who else are the doormats for decades?
True.
Yeah, that's a good question.
That is a good one.
That's a great question.
That is a good one.
We'll let the chat tell us.
I know. Chat.
Who's your favorite doormat, guys? The one in all the sports.
When you're comparing how bad a team is, you're like, yeah, they're the Clippers of the Metro Conference. You know, who's your
Clippers,
doormat?
Lions,
the Browns.
Who's a baseball team? You're the baseball guy, man.
I know.
Baseball.
I said the Tigers.
You'd say the A's now.
They won in 84.
Tigers have won, in 84.
It's 40 years ago.
1984.
But two World Series.
They won 2 World Series since World War II.
You know what?
Okay.
You got to do it better.
That's it.
I would say the White
2 World Series since the World
68.
The White Sox, they've only won 1 playoff series.
Yeah, you're right. The White Sox.
White Sox, yeah.
They've only won 1 World Series.
It was a World Series, but that's the only playoff series they've won.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That's great.
That is
you forget how bad the Chicago White Sox have been historically.
White Sox, I'm sticking with it.
Good call.
White Sox, I'm sticking with it. I wasn't going to let them talk
the
about
Saint
our
of
Detroit
second chances.
Don't let them talk about Tigers.
You got to watch that documentary about the White Sox, The Saint of Second Chances.
Is it about
on Netflix? It's fantastic. Watch it with your dad if you have a chance, guys. For real. It's
Text
fantastic.
that to me. Text that to me.
Is it about the 1919 scandal?
No, it's about Bill and Mike Veek. Vac, thank you. And Bill was the original owner. He passed it on to his son, and his son struggled, did some awesome stuff. The whole disco night, which is
I remember
really
that.
a fantastic documentary. Watch it if you're fathers, if you're blessed to still have them around.
All right, we appreciate that. Check that out and listen to my man Anson on that. Look, we're going to take a quick commercial break, come back with some NFL, some things going on, some people getting married, and also there's another former champion that loves the Detroit Lions. We'll get to that in a second.
Got a lot of teams on the chat as well.
We'll
go over them.
Let's read some of those.
Yeah, we'll go over them.
Let's have some fun. We'll read some of that when we get back first. Let's come back from Planet Fitness. I was like, Pete, what is he doing? Here we go.
Get
Planet
it together,
Fitness. Fitness that fits your budget. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in metropolitan Detroit alone. That is just in metropolitan Detroit. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym and tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff as well, who are totally judgmental free. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card. That's right, the Planet Fitness Black Card. That's what I used to talk about. And enjoy the amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa, featuring a hydro massage. You remember those massage chairs, man?
How do you forget them?
And a total body enhancement and more, along with access to over 2,500 locations nationwide. Planet Fitness is where that. Plain and simple, your fitness is essential.
All right, guys, and hands down, Michigan's best pet store is Premier Pet Supply, PremierPetSupply.com. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations, 60 brands of food, at least and the lowest prices available to anyone. They are stocked all the time, overstocked. So give them a call today. And don't forget, they will have curbside delivery if you need it. It is PremierPetSupply.com.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out PremierPetSupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking, and the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness, and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
You expand and offer more products to more people. That is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service that customers have come to know and trust. On Woodward Ave, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Drive on over to Soroki's because the Nashville is back. The Nashville Hot. Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza is taking over Michigan, known for their quality hand-battered and hand-breaded chicken tenders, sandwiches, and New York-style pies. See, that's why I got to educate you guys, man. It's called pies, correct?
Oh, yeah.
There we go. New York-style pies.
Pizza pie.
Locations are popping up all over metropolitan in Detroit, doubling the number of restaurants in 1 year. The Nashville Hot is serious, so you got to check it out. But I got to warn you, it is spicy, it is hot, it is everything that they say they are, and so are the biscuits. When you get a chance, come on down to Soroki's. Come enjoy the delicious heat.
Best pizza in the world's from Michigan, period.
Yes, sir. Those biscuits.
End of debate. Oh, the biscuits. We already know about the biscuits. But I got to say this. If anybody thinks that the best pizza in the world is from anywhere else but from the state of Michigan, they are wrong. Domino's, Little Caesars, Hungry Howie's, Jets, Papa John's, and Detroit style is the best.
But
I'm sorry.
I think people will argue those are chains.
Yeah, but they all started here.
When you dive into what a pie really is, now I have to introduce.
You gonna give me Brooklyn style?
I'm
That
introducing
thin garbage, dripping with grease.
I'm introducing Tom Mazur. That's for you two to talk.
What's your preferred pizza, Mr. Mass?
Bro, come on, man.
Don't drop the Brooklyn just because you're from there.
No,
You're gonna
please.
tell me that that's
Listen
better
to me.
than a
What do you
thick
weigh? What do
piece?
you weigh? 140 pounds? Soaking wet? Don't talk- Listen to me.
146.
Don't talk to me about pizza, please. Please. Do not talk to me about pizza, okay? Detroit style pizza is very good, okay? It's very good. But, please, just stay where you are and talk about the Clippers.
Not my lane.
Stay in your lane. Stick with the Clippers. By the way, some of the other great teams, some of the dreg teams that we were talking about, of course, Anson said, listen, if you're talking about the worst teams in all the sports, you can go right to the Clippers.
For 40 plus years.
Now, I will tell you this. They have never played for a championship. So you've got that going for you. Other teams that are out there. Cody Engel says the Kings. Kings, they got to be up there. Art Vandelay says, close your ears there, Braylon.
He's an exporter-importer.
He says the
just
Jets.
so you know.
Yeah, importer-exporter, Vandelay. Michael Weary says Houston and Tennessee.
Somebody said the Jets.
I don't know about that.
Jets had it rough.
I was going to say the Jets, but I just hit you with the Browns.
They had it rough.
Terrell Lamar says Clippers. Michael Matretsky says the Hawks.
The Hornets.
The Hawks.
Which Hawks?
The Atlanta Hawks.
They went to the Eastern Conference Finals 3
They've
years ago.
They've never played for a championship either.
Historically, they've
How about Dad with Tourette's?
Mutombo
Pirates
and
or Tigers? Pirates.
Do you know
Pirates are bad.
Do you know what
79 last
Pearl
time.
Jam's original name of the band was?
What's that?
Mookie Blaylock.
Oh, okay.
And he actually threatened to sue them, so they named their band Pearl Jam. I'm just thinking back to Mutombo and Mookie. That was a good Hawks team.
I'm trying to think about what type of drugs they were on. That was the first. That was the first
90s
option.
type of drugs.
Hey,
sense.
Big Head Chris says the Wizards.
How about Prairie View?
The Bullets were good, though, Chris.
The Wizards is a good one.
Yeah, the Bullets were good.
Yeah,
the Bullets had a run.
Wes Unseld.
Dad says Cubs before the ring. For sure.
Yeah, of course.
Cubs.
100 years.
Cody Engel says the Reds. No, the big red machine. That eliminates that. Rich Baldwin, Oakland A's. Come on, Rich. The Oakland A's of the 70s?
Yeah, they
no
were
one's
good
better.
back in the
And
day,
Moneyball. Come on, the A's? Don't say the A's. The Wizards, the Rockies are another one. The Sharks, the Browns, and the Lions have popped up here a few times.
There's 20-year-old
Timberwolves,
dudes out
someone
there.
says.
There's 20-year-old sports fans that use the Pistons as their basement.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Let me ask you this question before we go on. Do you guys
Save the
want to
whale.
shift gears and talk a little bit about the NFL, talk about some guys getting married off the Lions, talk about Mark Slarev's breakdown of the Detroit Lions, or do you want to jump into some Red Wings who also made some moves? Maz, I'll let you tell me.
Well, we'll do some wings and hockey right now. I know Anson loves this. So Braylon and I will handle
Quite
it.
the opposite.
You can just talk about the Detroit-style pizza. But the wings draft.
You're getting lit up here in the chat,
pizza,
man.
though.
If you want a big piece of pizza, sure, Brooklyn. You want a good piece of pizza, you stick with the
Listen,
D.
you and those two other guys that are on the chat can go have whatever pizza you want. Okay? I'm going to go to my place.
Hey, Soroki's pizza's not thin. It's deep and beautiful.
I will,
New York style,
I will
bro.
say this. I will say this. When I hear the Chicago style pizza, when I went to Chicago and actually spent some time, I lived there for a while. I was eager to try all the places because I was all right. Like, I don't know how good Chicago style pizza is, but I grew up on Pizza Populous, and Pizza Populous is amazing. So, I'm
Love
going to give it
It is.
I love Chicago
I
pizza.
went to Giordano's, I went to Sarpino's, I went to all these spots around
Blue
Chicago.
Malnati's.
100%.
Yep.
Guess what? I determined they ain't messing with Pizza Populous. That's just me. So when you say deep dish,
I miss Pizza Populous.
Too much sauce anyway.
True. I will give you Pizza Populous deep dish over Chicago deep dish. 100%.
I miss them down in Greektown.
Oh, man.
Chicago's
I used to go all the
inferior in
time.
everything.
Yeah, they're long gone.
So the
Long
only
gone.
ones open is now the one on Telegraph and Long Lake?
Telegraph and Long Lake. That's about it. It's the only one I know.
That's like so far out the way. By the time I get there and get back, I don't even want anymore.
Buddy's
Yeah, I think the Jefferson one's
Pizza.
gone, Pete.
All
Maybe
I
you're
gotta say
wrong.
right there, Buddy's
Detroit
Pizza.
style.
Hey, the Rattlesnake Club closed this weekend. Remember the Rattlesnake Club? Been open for 45 years.
Green Lantern.
Green
Lantern. Now I'm
Green
not going
Lantern
to front.
good.
First time I had Green Lantern, I thought somebody was playing a trick on me. I didn't know it was really like, I was like, you didn't
No,
get
it's
this here.
like that.
Where'd you get this from? Green Lantern is like that.
It's like
Lights
that.
out.
I had one in Rochester, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
Yep. Detroit, the capital of pizza.
All right, Anson. All right.
It is very good.
Detroit pizza is.
I was at Louis on Saturday.
I'm not repping
Love
Little
Louis.
Caesars for you in the chat. I'm just saying all the major national brands started in Detroit aside from Pizza Hut. Period. Everyone.
There you go.
I like the Hut too.
Yeah, me too,
the
man.
Hut is good.
Well,
Not what they used
Remember
to be,
when they
but
had
still
the salad bar though?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh
yeah,
man,
the pizza buffet. Yeah.
How about how about
tabletop video games?
the
little
pizza
Galaga?
buffet?
Yeah, the
was
pizza
always
buffet
good.
was
Yes,
that.
the
The pizza
breadsticks.
buffet was always
3
good.
breadsticks
That
and
was
some
so good.
sauce for a buck.
Love the red
please.
cups.
Them was the days.
Good choice, Pete.
NBA is not the only one who's starting their free agency and had a draft. The NHL also had
they
a
did.
draft, and they
They did.
start the free agency tomorrow.
Yes,
Wings
sir.
draft?
Wings draft was Stevie Eiserman liked it. We could put up the players that the Red Wings took. They went to Sweden for their first pick, the first ever first round pick from Sweden, and the big three were there: Steve Yzerman, Nick Lidstrom, and of course Chris Draper, our good friend. They were there repping at the Sphere. The Sphere did awesome.
Man, Sphere
that
is
was
amazing.
a great place to do their draft. Gary Bettman literally did nothing. Except he was just standing there, shaking, doing his thing. Gary Bettman, hey, how you doing? How you doing? He didn't say a word.
He didn't have to.
He didn't say a word. The only thing he did is he announced the Philadelphia Flyers trade. They traded back one spot. It took him like a half an hour to announce it. Anyway, Red Wings had a good draft. Steve Yzerman, let's put up his quote there, James. Steve Yzerman, very happy with the talent that he got. Go ahead, Bray. You can read that.
We really focused on what we were trying to do. We used all 8 picks, and we're pleased with all the kids that we got. Funny hearing Steve say kids, but to him, they definitely are kids. It seems like Stevie Y is happy. I mean, obviously, this is
We're not going to see these guys for a while.
No, 100%. They're going to developmental league. I think they'll be in Grand Rapids. Isn't that where?
Oh, we hope they get there. They're going to start lower than that, and they'll work their way up to Grand Rapids. We'll see.
The draft wasn't the only moves made.
Today, I made it official.
And there you go.
Patrick Kane is coming back.
1 year.
They said he wasn't going to come back. That was all the rumors I've heard.
Yeah.
But he signs for between $4.5 million and $6 million. And the only reason he signed here is I guarantee you Steve Yzerman told him, look, we're going to bring you in, and I'm trying to get this guy, and this guy. And those guys could be the Rangers captain, Jacob Trouba. Jacob Trouba he's a badass defenseman. Doesn't create the best defense, but to have a guy like this on your team will fill a lot of holes. And the Rangers are trying to save some money. They've spent a lot of money. So Jacob Trouba, their captain, and a Michigan guy, could come here to the Red Wings by tomorrow, which would be, to me, a great signing and a great start as well.
Yeah, for as much as we make about Stevie Y, the Eyes are playing and talking about it's been 5 years, haven't made the playoffs, his name still holds a ton of weight. And when you look at Patrick Kane, like you said, you're going behind closed doors and you're talking. It wasn't just the players that they potentially might get. It's Stevie Y and him having that conversation. Look, stick with me. I promise you we're putting this thing together. You see we've gone up. They've won more games each year. They've gotten closer. They've gotten more points. You add those things up. You see how that playoff run at the end of last year played out. They just needed a couple more players, and that's what Patrick Kane has won. This is one of the most storied franchises in NHL history. I know he played for the Chicago Blackhawks, but this is a storied franchise. His GM is Stevie Y. He knows what championship success feels like. So you kept him. Also, you add Cam Talbot. Cam Talbot, a goaltender. One of the big things
Came
with
over
the
from
Red
the
Wings.
Kings. Yep.
Can't stop goals in big times. You bring in Cam Talbot. You look at what his what's the stat called, Maz?
Goals against average?
Goals against average is 913. 913.
Save percentage.
Save percentage,
Yeah.
100%, which is good over the course of his career, really good percentage. And then you track it back and you look, it wasn't just last year. This is over the duration of his whole career. So that way is good for the Detroit Pistons. And, I do believe he's on the clock. And when I say, hey, I'm talking about Stevie Y. Like, I understand the Yzerman plan, and I understand, how the team was when you got here. It's been 5 years. This is year 6. You got players. You got players now that have been in the farm system. You got some players like Lucas Raymond that's showing you things. Dylan Larkin maybe is taking the next step before the injury in terms of being that leader. You got players. You got guys. You got great lines. really good lines, excuse me. It's time to show something this year. And I think Stevie White feels that Bunsen burner getting turned on.
Hey, they signed Jack Campbell, too. He's a goaltender from Edmonton, 1 year, just under $1 million. So they're trying to get some depth right now, see how it goes for the following season. So buckle up. If Jacob Trouba comes over here, that would be a real upgrade, along with Patrick Kane. And who knows, maybe something else.
So there are two Jack Campbells here in Detroit now.
That's right. 2 Jack Campbells.
The other one got married this past week.
He did. And let's go there right now.
Let's do it.
Jack Campbell, and guess who else got married? Malcolm Rodriguez. Both of these guys. They got their girls, and they got hitched this weekend. So congratulations to Jack Campbell and his fiancée, and, of course, Malcolm Rodriguez and his fiancée. So the Lions are starting to grow up there, Bray.
Can we comment on who did better?
You said what?
Can we comment on who did better?
I think they both did great.
They looked like they both did very well.
Yeah, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Got Anson. He's always trying to create some conflict.
Killing Pete today, man.
He's always trying to create some conflict.
Who do you think did better?
Malcolm.
Yeah, I knew you would pick Malcolm.
Maz, who do you think did better?
I think it's a tie.
Oh, I think you chose Malcolm too. I think you just being political.
Both great. I think
you're a diplomat over there, my friend, aren't you?
I'm like KG. They both did great.
You know who did the best?
They both did fantastic.
Jared Goff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We know that one.
Maz is biased, man.
Big time bias.
I can't wait to hear the heckling for Stafford week 1, man. It's going to be great.
Hey, this weekend, I don't know, Lions PR put out a video. They came up with these gift packages that they gave to some of the Lions. This is on Lions.com on Twitter. Check it out.
Yeah, it's going up on my thing. I got a little shelf in my crib, all football stuff. Yeah, right there. See how look at that catch. Look how hard that catch look.
Oh, I love it. Graham has his own graham crackers named after him. Those are his.
Dog toys? That's nice. That's cool. That's a good picture. Working on my vertical. Shout out to the Mia team. It's a great video. This is dope. What is it?
It's for the dog.
This is going to Bruno and Luca. This was going to me. For the newborn, huh? Yeah.
For the dog.
Okay, that's Sammy. Is it Blanky?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This will definitely be used. That's good. That's a good picture right there. I look pretty handsome.
Ooh, a little backflip action.
What was going through your head?
I was in the air floating like an MJ. I was floating. I'm not a big damn kicker. Thank you. Okay. Sorry, Graham. They're so good, though. They're actually really good.
We have a couple things for you.
Let's check him out.
Yikes.
Looks like some fun gifts, some fun players during the season last year. Pictures.
How about those jerseys?
Man, the jerseys are nice.
Those jerseys are clean.
The jerseys are clean, man. I'm super excited to see these Lions jerseys this year. But those are fun. Kind of some memories from last year, some plays that made the season, kind of get those guys' mind ready on this season. Oh, it's fun, interesting.
I got a question for you.
Oh, I got an answer.
One photo from your career framed as a present from your team. What is it?
What team?
Doesn't matter. Your whole career.
It's Michigan against MSU.
Yeah, if it's college, it's that one.
I mean, but what moment? I mean, we know Charles Woodson's going to be the immaculate interception where he jumped off a table and caught the ball at Spartan Stadium. The greatest moment that was captured by a photo in your career.
First of all, that was the coldest interception I've ever seen. But
it was amazing.
Yeah, but
I was there wearing maize and blue.
But it wouldn't be number one in Charles's highlights, though.
Huh?
It wouldn't be number one in Charles's highlights.
Come on.
It wouldn't be number one in Charles's highlights.
What would be number one?
How about the punt return that got him the Heisman against Ohio State? What?
I've seen punt returns for touchdowns, my friend. But I have never seen somebody.
But did those punt returns turn into a Heisman Trophy over your rival, over the biggest rivalry in sports?
Ooh. But he's known more for his defense, I'd say.
Well, but this is the only player.
That's why this moment. It's like, wait, Charles Woodson returned the punt?
You've got a good point, okay? And he returned more than just one, and that was a big moment. But in terms of him doing something, that photo, I mean, what photo? If you want to do video, sure. But what point in the run is there a photo where it's just perfect? This guy, his arm is a shoulder above everybody else's.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the most amazing moment captured in film from that guy's career, in my opinion. Happened to be there. I was a Michigan fan at the time, so I was pretty hype about it.
You notice I was just letting you go.
Right. Yeah, I just want to know with you.
Anson talking that good stuff about Michigan, man. It's rare. So I'll let you go.
Few and far between, but that was a fantastic game, 21-7. Your history. You have one photo. I don't know whether it's in green, whether it's in that ugly brown, or whether it's in that real terrible corn and blue. There is a moment captured on film that if you were given that by your team, it would mean more than any other moment in your career.
I was in the middle of a celebration and they took a picture and I was in the end zone. This is when we played the Patriots, and Maz knows exactly what I'm talking about. The 2011 playoff, 2010 season. Patriots were the number 1 seed in AFC.
And they just routed you on Monday Night Football.
They beat the dog on breaks off our ass. But excuse my French. They beat us 49-3. So I think I can say as after that. But we got a chance to play them in the playoffs, play them in the second round, the semifinals, and we beat them. My touchdowns, the slant route, kind of got the energy going, and they caught me mid-celebration. So they gave me that one, like that moment, that picture, I would know. Like, I was getting goosebumps in that moment.
You're
so
giving it to me.
one.
I want to see it. We'll make sure Pete's got that for us tomorrow, okay?
What was yours? Your nunchucks video over the weekend?
We'll have that tomorrow too, my friend. We'll have that too, my friend. My career was highlighted by different accomplishments. Not sure we can share those photos here. So
yours was yelling behind the bench.
In terms of my athletic career.
No, yours was standing on a seat behind the bench at the Palace, screaming at guys.
I didn't have to stand on the seat, baby. I could sit and they'd hear me. But yeah, that's probably my best photo that would be handed back to me is the heckling photo, which I'm sure has been shown on the screen. But we can have it ready for them tomorrow. I want to see KG's greatest moment. I want to see Maz's greatest moment. That'd be some fun stuff for
Mine's yet to come.
Meanwhile, between time, Tom Maswell, what was the question before that? I lost it. Now you got me
talking
thinking
about the
moment.
wings.
No, we were chatting Lions.
No, we talked Lions. We jumped to Lions.
Welcome back, KG.
Jack.
I know, right? I'm ready to go.
We started talking Red Wings.
We were talking about who did better. We were on Jack and Malcolm.
Then he got the Charles Woodson pictures,
and we called it a tie.
I will tell you this: Mark Schlereth, one of our favorite guys, one of my favorite guys. I love Mr. Schlereth. Not only a great warrior in the NFL, Stink can call a game with the best of them. He could break down film like the best of them. So not only do we have who's our guy, Brian Baldinger, that always loves the Lions. Well, here's something from the Stinking Truth podcast. Listen to Mark Schlereth on Our Lions.
This is a stacked roster, but they start with toughness. Their general manager, Brad Holmes, has done a really good job of putting people in place. I love the Detroit Lions. You walk into that building, the energy in that building is through the roof, and I credit Dan Campbell for that.
Do you think Dan Campbell dials back the aggressiveness, the go-for-it nature a little bit this year after what happened last year?
No, I
don't think so?
I don't. I think that's the way he wants to play. He wants to, and he just wants to be like, hey, man, I want to take my guys knowing that the odds are we're going to go for it on fourth down, takes the pressure off on third down. They have more duality on third down than any team in the NFL.
He loves himself some Dan Campbell, and they asked him, do you think Dan Campbell will take it easy this year? Will he call a closer-knit game? Will he punt on fourth down? Will he kick a field goal? And Mark says, I don't think he will. And it's the way his team has been brought up to learn. So they know there's not a lot of pressure on him, Braylon, in third down. Third down, they're like, it's just another down, because if we don't make it, we're going for it on fourth down. You got 4 downs to make 10 yards. And Dan Campbell, I believe, as Mark Schlereth does, will stick to his guns. And you got 4 downs to make 10 yards, guys. Go make 10 yards. Keep the ball.
Yeah, and Mark Schlereth is one of those guys that he sees it the way we do at the end of the day.
He's an offensive lineman.
This is who Dan Campbell is. This is who Dan Campbell is. He goes for it. He trusts his offensive coordinator. He trusts the players on the staff. He trusts his quarterback. He trusts the center quarterback exchange. Trust is the word that you keep hearing. It's not a situation. Now, maybe it started out of desperation. Maybe going for it on second down started out of desperation, not having a field goal kicker, not trusting the kickers that you had. You saw that debacle that was a New England Patriots game 3 years ago. They played in Gillette Stadium. Horrible game. But maybe it got to the point where as the offense got better, as the play calling got better, and you trust that offensive line, I think as he started trusting it, he said, no, this isn't just something that we do out of despair. This is who we are. And I think you're going to see it more and more and more. And I don't foresee Dan Campbell, Detroit Lions, ever stopping going for it on 2.
As crazy as it makes us as fans at times, and no better time than in the NFC Championship game, we can go back and forth on whether we should have kicked that or not. As much as it drives us crazy as fans, it has to drive opposing defenses equally as crazy.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're setting up for, whether you're playing 3 downs or 4. You don't know what they're dialing up on third down because they might not be going for the sticks. They might just be going to get halfway there because they know they're coming down on fourth down. This offense, as good as it is in personnel, they're also very hard to diagnose because of this type of fourth down chaos that we bring.
I love it.
So even with the big leg, we're still going to see some of this, but I do see them tempering a little bit. We're going to be playing with the lead a lot more than we're used to. And this is a team that I think that their next evolution has to integrate the kicking game a little bit, not to the point where you're an old school franchise and you're kicking every fourth down, but they do need to mix it up a little bit because we are leaving a little bit of points on the board by not kicking. But again, I love how tough to diagnose our offense must be to opposing defensive coordinators.
The second half of what I was going to say, and Matt, as I bring you in on this one, is, one, going for 2 is an identity. Going for 2 is something that may have started one way, but this is something that we've gotten good at, something that they develop plays for, plays that you do not see in the regular field, plays that you do not see, only see them in 2-point opportunities. With that being said, he understands how important field goal kicking is. He understands it to the tune of having 3, having 4, and rotating out, giving the guy for the Michigan Panthers an opportunity. Then deciding, you know what? We're not going to go with the Michigan kicker, James Turner. We decided that Mike Badgley and this guy, this is where we're at. Mazin, am I wrong? He's still showing you that he understands that this is an area of concern.
Oh, yeah. They signed Jake Bates. They have the Badger, the Money Badger against Bates. We'll see how it goes. James Turner was let go here. He winds up signing with Green Bay. We'll see how that works out as well. I don't like it, but
hate that.
It is what it is. I wish he was here kicking against big leg Jake.
At least he gets to keep wearing that corn.
I know. I think it would have been great, though, for him to be here.
I wish I could have sent the clip in, the video of what you asked for. We found the pictures, and my man.
You did?
Power Neck found the pictures. Go ahead and throw that up there, man.
It's quick over there, man.
Hey. So this is, and I love this one.
You about to do the discount double check there? Is that what that is?
Like you doing the Ray Lewis.
I'm doing the Ray Lewis.
Hey,
there you go. I'm doing the Ray Lewis. When you break through the wall and kick through the wall.
Yeah.
But I like the first picture, man, because you got McCourty on the ground. You got Merriweather on the ground. It's just in my weight.
Those are some dead bodies underneath you.
Just dead bodies in the weight,
dead
man.
bodies.
That touchdown kind of
below and behind you.
Yeah, it was a wrap after that, man. We put the route on them. Sean Green infamously did the falling asleep on the football after he scored his last.
That was great.
So is that the last playoff game the Jets have won?
It is.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It is.
Yikes for both of you guys. Sorry.
It's so funny. Like whenever we're having this conversation talking about the Lions,
I have the Lions and the Jets on my team, and the Giants. Sorry, come on.
Shoot, we got 4 playoff, but
can't get worse teams.
At least the Jets, we got 4 playoff wins in 2 years. Yeah. In that stretch, we won 2 and then lost to the Colts, and then we won 2
with
and
Sanchez.
Then we lost.
Yes, sir.
Mark.
With Mark Sanchez as their quarterback.
Right.
Number 6 overall pick, right?
That's why y'all didn't get there.
Look at you, 100%. He was, he was 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was 6. That was the same.
They tried, man. They tried finding their quarterback.
He throw a nice ball, catchable ball.
He does he doesn't have a big arm.
Yeah.
So he's an anticipatory type guy. Like he
put it on you.
100%. It was funny when the first practice I had came from Cleveland. I go there and we had to get traded Wednesday. Went out there and practiced that Wednesday. His pass, like when first time he threw it, it caught me off guard because it was already in the air.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm not used to this.
Yeah, I'm like, but then watching it, like I was able to trail it. He throws it early.
Yeah.
So when he throws it early, like, oh, he threw it already. But then it's like, oh, okay.
Who threw the best ball? That ball you like to catch in the best out of everybody you ever caught from?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Oh, please tell me.
Jason Campbell.
Mark
What did he say?
I would say Russell Wilson and Mark Brunell.
Okay.
Like Russ's pass were always where they were supposed to be. Like his deep ball, like there's a reason why they love when they talk about his deep ball, him being able to throw the 9 route. He throws a hell of a 9 route. Like it's
him to Jimmy Smith.
It's elite and it was smooth. And then Mark Brunell, his old self.
Yeah.
That's what I meant, to Jimmy Smith.
Oh,
Brunell.
him and Keenan Cardell.
Yep.
Like,
oh yeah.
I love being in the huddle. That was the first time in the NFL, and this was 2010. This was last game of the year. They benched Mark and Darrell Reed with some of the starters, and then some of the other stars. We got out after the second, maybe the first quarter. Mark comes in the huddle, and I'm in the game. It's probably my last series. Mark's like, "Look, Braylon, just go deep. Just go deep." He's like, line, start. It was like a movie. He's like that Cap Rooney type quarterback from any given Sunday. He's
Who are you
older.
guys playing?
He's rugged. We're playing the Bills. We're old. It's not like Leotis McKelvin on me. He's like, Braylon, just get by him, give him a look, give you a little jump. I got you. He's lefty, so he's throwing from this way.
I love the way the lefty
smooth,
throws that football.
I don't like lefty quarterbacks with the exception of my favorite quarterback, who's Steve Young. Steve Young.
You know how fulfilling this is? When you were in town.
He dropped it in the bucket, caught it, walk-in touchdown.
When you were in town 20 years ago, 15 years ago, when you and I first met, I'd see you out. I wanted to ask you these questions. It's so nice to be able to ask them and hear these great answers.
You could have asked then.
You don't want to talk about it in the club.
Just don't leave with the Michigan State stuff, and we'd have been friends. Nah,
I don't. I know better. I hear these. I hear my Spartan brethren and sisterin asking the silly things they say to you, man.
I spent a lot of time.
Hey, Braylon, go green.
Yeah, man. I'll never get it. But the Wings did pick up. We talked about Patrick Kane. We talked about all that. But yeah, I make sure we got that one.
I got more NFL for you.
Yeah, let's stick with that. The Sunday ticket in the NFL, they got some stuff going on.
Yep, the Sunday ticket, man. This has been a few days story, but the NFL found guilty in the antitrust lawsuit, and they are ordered to pay. Ready for this? $12 billion to fans like us.
Hey,
so what do we all get? Like
they will
$12
appeal.
back?
I ain't never had.
Now listen,
I got my hand out. What's up?
I'm trying to see.
Now, if you've had Sunday ticket
coming?
for like 10 years, you're gonna get a check for like $4,000.
Really?
Yeah. Right now the NFL is, of course, countersuing. They're gonna appeal.
Sure.
And they're gonna try to. They might be paying more than they already put up. $12 billion. It might be double that by the time this whole antitrust lawsuit goes through. And I really, for the life of me, still don't understand it. They're overcharging NFL fans to get Sunday ticket. So you can say no to them and watch the Fox or CBS 4 o'clock primetime game because Fox and CBS were pissed. We're paying all this money to you guys, all these billions of dollars for these contracts, and you're still selling us out for guys to go watch other games. Eventually, it's going to become an a la carte service. You're going to be able to order any damn game you want. You're going to pay for it, but you're going to order any game you want or any team you want. I just want to watch the Lions. So any Lion game that is not on a Monday night or a Sunday night or a Thursday night, you'd get. And instead of watching the Buffalo Bills or the Jacksonville Jaguars, teams that you really don't care about, because then you got guys like Pete and you that like to watch Red Zone. Put the Red Zone on, you get them all.
I like Red Zone.
Red Zone is all right.
That's where it's going, man. But the NFL, man, they can't get out of their own way sometimes.
NFL just does things and does things and does things, and things come out, but
they'll get away with it.
Well, and that's
exactly.
And that's why when you're king, you get away with things.
Yeah.
NFL is going to get away with it. They'll find a way to shift it somewhere else.
Look at the USFL. The old USFL beat the NFL in the antitrust law.
Big settlement. What'd they win?
$2.
That's right.
$3.82.
How much was it, Pete?
$3.82.
Was there a significance between $3.82?
No, they all had to split it.
No, they all split it. Yeah.
There was some significance.
It's like 2,000 people win the lottery.
That's a check I'm never cashing.
They won the case, but after expenses
That
and
eight-
lawyer fees, they left with $3.80.
That 18-cent check, I'm putting up on my wall forever.
Here's a good question. I was outside the Lions. Obviously, Lions are the team in this room. What other teams would you buy their games?
Me as a fan?
Yeah, you. You're buying.
Probably the Niners.
Okay.
One to watch the Niners, but they're going to be on. They'll probably be on prime time a bunch of times. You got to think of the teams that aren't going to be on the prime time games that you like, that you want to follow.
I'll do some Ravens.
Maybe the Cleveland. Maybe the Browns. Browns are an up-and-coming team. Browns are an up-and-coming team, man.
Big Brown knows.
Sean Watson ain't got it no more.
They're gonna be a good. No,
You don't know that.
Yeah,
I don't like the Browns.
No, we'll know this year if he's got it or not.
I know you don't. I'm a Ravens guy. I've been a Ravens guy since Ed Reed, and I love me some Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
Guess what I saw on Saturday? I saw Marcus Pollard, my brother.
Oh, my.
I asked him.
Former tight end.
100%, man. He played for the Lions back in the day, too.
Yes,
But I asked
Colts,
him about the Jaguars. You know, he works in player development with the Jaguars. So how's your team going to be? It just seems like every year they have the talent, but they can't get it done. He says, as 16 goes, we go. So it seems
all on
like
Trevor Lawrence.
Seems like a lot of emphasis has been put on Trevor Lawrence this year in terms of him getting comfortable, in terms of it being his team.
Trevor Etienne as well.
100%. Travis Etienne. He's got to stay healthy. Because every time you look up Travis Etienne, he plays 3 games, he's out of game. He plays 2 games, he's out of game. Got to get him healthy. And we have to take a quick commercial break, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more about whatever else is going on. Get a message from Guardian Alarm, your local security experts.
What do you do when you see that black and yellow sign outside? Tells you one thing.
Stay out.
Stay out.
That's right. Customized solutions from real experts. Guardian Alarm. Professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work, and people have been proven to care. That's right, call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's right, call 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today and tell them Woodward
Michigan
Sports
State,
sent you.
stay out.
On over
Please.
to Wake Up Woodward.
All right, Wake Up Woodward, man. We've been on the air 5 months, but it feels like 5 years, man. Y'all know what it is. Woo Crew in the morning, every day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10. You can check Kool-Aid, Flannel Sam, Broder, JB, and myself every morning as we cover all of Detroit sports, talk, banter, and live fan interaction on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woo Crew.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda. A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Attention, sports fans. Don't miss out on our expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big D Energy, Thursday right here on our show. Trust the guy at DMAC and Braylon Trust, Dr. Jeff Pierce. They're here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944, Bray.
And also, dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or other family issues. Those are very serious issues, by the way. Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham, right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. They got your back. 10 years plus of experience, 24/7 availability. Scan that QR code right there above my head or give them a call, 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you, and KDK will pay you a filing fee. KDK Law, they've got your back.
All right.
Maybe giving them a call sometime in the near future because it sounds like they got your back.
They do.
100%. Tom Masway, more football on the way a little bit.
Yes, sir.
We sold Jamison Williams and we showed the video of the Lions getting gifts. He was one of the gifts. They got a gift. Well, he was drafted in 2022. You know what? My man Ari Mayroff in the 33rd team did a 2022 redraft, and you might be shocked at where they now have him going. If we can pull that up.
Yeah, we'll do. Let's go through picks 1 through 8 right now.
Yeah.
Picks 1 through 8. This is a redraft of the 2022. Why don't you read those names right
All
now?
right, so I'm going to read the names. When I get to 8, then you guys tell me what you think. We'll start there. All right, Sauce Gardner, Detroit's own king, number 1 instead of 4, instead of 4. Aiden Hutchinson stays at 2. Brock Purdy now moves up to number 3 from the 7th round.
Yeah.
Trent McDuffie moves up to 4. Kayvon Thibodeau stays at 5. Tyler Smith moves up to 6. Charles Cross stays at 7. And Kyle Hamilton, who plays the Baltimore
he goes
Ravens,
way up.
moves up to 8. Anson Wills, I'll start with you. Number 1 overall.
What is the most valued position in football?
Quarterback.
Why is he at 3 then?
Because you're still trying to see maybe if it's Brock Purdy or if it's the tremendous talent.
They already have their quarterback, Jacksonville.
Yeah, Sauce Gardner had a hell of a
Trevor Lawrence.
They had a quarterback.
What's the most?
Instead of taking,
but they had Trevor Lawrence.
This move is instead of taking Trayvon, what's his name?
Trayvon Walker.
Yeah, Trayvon Walker.
Trayvon Walker's going to be a lot better this year because they're going to play him in the system that he's supposed to play him.
If we're assigning teams and we're playing on what they had in their scenario, I just don't see Brock Purdy going anywhere but 1 in that draft.
Trevor Lawrence is already your quarterback.
They trade out.
They
trade out.
Okay, well, they're not going to trade. This is what they're doing.
Could you stop?
Would you just stop making things different?
I'm being honest. So I mean,
joking,
I just don't see how anybody would take Sauce Gardner over Brock Purdy. I get the scenario that we're playing with, though. So for me, they went after Kayvon Thibodeau. They didn't get it right. He's still very good. I don't see them taking a corner over Aiden at this point. I think Aiden will go number 1.
Fun out of things.
You're right,
He does.
man.
Hey, let's go to the next bunch, okay? Let's go picks 9 through 16 because this is where you're going to be. This is where Jamison Williams should be. Am I correct?
Jamison Williams.
That's where the Lions took him.
12th overall. Here you go. At number 9, Tariq Woolen. Number 10, Garrett Wilson to the Jets. Same pick. Chris Olave, 11 to the Saints. Same pick. At number 12, where they picked up Jamison Williams originally, they now pick up Georgia wide receiver George Pickens.
Never happens because of the culture here.
Yes.
I'm a huge Pickens fan. I love me some George Pickens. But this team is not taking him. They'd probably take Drake London over him, I would imagine.
Take who over him?
Drake London over George Pickens. Pickens is a problem. He's an amazing, he's Odell Beckham too, 2.0. but he's just not coming to Detroit.
Was he trouble in college?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
That's why he slipped.
All right, so would you take Pickett? Let's just
Deron
pretend.
Bland,
Let's
Drake
pretend
London,
he's a great citizen.
Yeah.
Would you rather have Pickens or Jamison Williams?
I'd rather have Pickens all day.
Yeah, Pickens
Braylon,
was actually on the
you're the
field.
only one that really counts here. So I'm gonna talk. You're to wide receiver. You want Pickens or you want J-Mo?
Healthy J-Mo.
Yeah.
Like when you, if this is the draft, then I'm looking at them through the same lens that I looked at them at Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah, but J-Mo
dude-
is still hurt in this draft.
Okay, one guy was about to win the national championship over the guy. I didn't even know George Pickens was on the field.
Yeah.
When Jamison Williams was out
Wasn't
there.
he hurt?
facts.
I think he was hurt.
He was hurt during the championship.
During the season, during the season now. So I'm saying I still would go with Jamison Williams. But to be honest, if I'm looking at it hindsight, I think I'd take Breece Hall at 12.
Really?
I think I'm taking Breece Hall
Without
at
the
12.
foresight of knowing we get Gibbs, I get it.
100%.
Even with the injuries.
Like Breece Hall was a monster.
He was, but
At
even
Iowa
with the
State.
injury history,
Yeah.
though.
So it
He
been
was a
interesting.
monster again coming back last
Yeah,
year.
he's balling. You see where most people
With
have him
who
rated
at
already.
quarterback?
Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Oh, you
Zach
talking about
Wilson.
back then? It was
I
Zach
mean,
Wilson,
He
yeah.
had a hell of a year last year with
If he doesn't
nobody
tear his
under center.
ACL as a rookie,
Yeah.
as a rookie, I don't know if
He's a
Garrett
player.
Wilson wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. It would have been Breece Hall.
Breece was amazing.
Yeah, he was. He's coming back.
He's had 2 great seasons,
Like
even
Breece-
with the injury.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's look at 17 through 24. But that was the big shakeup there.
That's the
No
big shake-
Jamison Williams.
The shakeup is there's still no Jamison Williams.
There's
ladies
still
and
no
gentlemen. Not
Jamison.
yet.
Well, it makes
Still no
sense.
J-Mo.
In
Zion
retrospect.
Johnson, Trayvon Walker, Zach Tom, Christian Watson, DB out of Oregon, George Karlaftis.
Player.
Jordan Davis stays at number 22 at quarterback. And then Derek. Now, that's the one that is interesting. Derek Stingley Jr. Last year was the first year where he started to come around, and you saw why the Houston Texans took him so early. They took him before Sauce.
Yeah.
Took him third. Sauce goes 4. He's still at 23 in this draft with Tyler Linderbaum going 24. Where are you with Stingley Jr.? I think he's a monster. I think he's
He
a
is.
player.
He's a stud. Absolutely a
I
stud.
think he might be better than Tariq Woods, but they still had going 9.
Houston is they got a lot of riches over in Houston.
Houston's
a lot
doing
of
it
riches.
the right way.
I mean, unless Jamison Williams, because I know everybody here is looking for him in this first round, nobody outside of Lions fans are drafting this guy in the first round based on his NFL body of work. Now, this season could change all of that. We could see this guy in the top 15 conversation, but it'd be arguable at this point what he's done through his, 2.5 kind of years.
That he was a mistake.
Is he a second round pick? Is he a third round pick?
Let's put up the last picks. 25 through 32. Is there a J-Mo there?
Yeah.
There is no Jamison
K9
Williams.
at 25.
There is
K9.
Ooh, to the
K9
Ravens?
25. Ooh, that would have been a perfect
Ravens?
fit, too.
Yeah, man. That's
James
nasty.
Cook to the Chiefs would have been a great fit.
It would have.
That would have been a great. That James Cook is a slept-on running back because they didn't use him the right way until the second half of last season.
Would they
I'm
still have
interested-
Pacheco too?
No, because Pacheco is.
They got him in the 7th round.
They got,
Oh yeah, they did.
yeah.
Who's that?
Pacheco.
Isaiah Pacheco.
So they wouldn't have had
From
Pacheco.
Rutgers.
Was he 7th round or was he undrafted?
7th
round.
He was drafted? Okay. Player.
And then
Can't be
let's
mad
just see
at
the
it.
rest. I mean, so no Jamison Williams on here. Now, obviously, they're probably doing this is a hindsight type deal, so they're
course.
looking at the trouble with gambling, or not trouble with gambling. I'm saying
injury
the
and
gambling
then the
incident,
suspension.
and then the injury. You're looking at all those things, and that's why he's not in draft. If you're looking at it from that lens, I still think he's a first round draft pick because I think the situation with the gambling, that's neither here nor
All
there.
right, but let's cut to the
find out.
chase. Let's cut to the chase. This shows you, and these are NFL players and general managers that are part of this 33rd team, along with Ari Meirov and other media guys. By him not being in that first round, it was a reach.
Yeah.
It was a reach to move up and get him at that spot. Now, we could say it now, it's okay. We got all the other ones we hit. Brad Holmes hit on all the other picks.
Yeah.
But he reached for Jamison Williams, and it hasn't paid off yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This year, like Braylon said, this is his coming out party.
Yeah. At
Pause.
the time, it made sense. It made absolute sense because you look at what he did in that national championship game. If he doesn't get injured, he's probably the first wide receiver off the board. I
he's not
firmly
there
believe
Yeah, but
that.
he got hurt.
So, yeah, and understandably so. So I understand why they have him out the first round. I'm just saying though.
What does Jamison do if he ends up being a bust? Let's say he has a bad year this year, and we know what it is. And when I say bad year, I'm talking about like a noticeably bad year, not 800 yards. I'm talking about if he goes out there and 300 yards, inconsistent, there's an issue. What does that do to Brad Holmes? Or has he, because of how he's drafted before that and since that, it's kind of like, look, everybody makes a mistake once. Is it one of those situations, or is this a stain?
Can't hit them all.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the entirety of the NFL and you really break down hits and misses, and most teams are going to be at like 55 to 60%. It's a first-round pick that you traded up for, so people are going to remember that. It's a little more impactful to miss when you're drafting early in the first round and you're using picks to get there. But this guy's done so well, not only drafting, but then developing guys that we thought were misses, that this just kind of gets lost in the shuffle of being a championship level team.
He'll do fine this year, I believe.
I think so too.
He will put his time in, and we're gonna see him blossom this season. So I got no issues with what they've done. They've been perfect to me. They had a perfect 3 years here in Detroit, plus years, perfect.
All the guy
I can't ask for more.
All he really needs to do is just show that he should have been selected in the first 2, maybe even 3 rounds.
Yeah.
As long as he's just not a bust that's off this team after this season.
Correct.
And I don't think that happens.
He's got the speed, man. Speed kills, right?
Absolutely.
He's got pure speed.
And it's at the role that this team's desperately in need of.
Hey, Olympics are coming up this month, aren't they?
Is that this
Isn't
month?
it this month?
It started the end of July, dude.
Yeah.
There we go.
Listen to this,
I think
man.
the opening bell is
a basketball squad.
It's in Paris. NBC has them. NBC, a couple of years ago, if you remember, cut bait with Al Michaels. They said, Al, we're going to bring Mike Tirico in. He's going to be the Sunday night voice. He got jettisoned over to Thursday Night Football. But NBC is working with AI technology to recreate Al Michaels' voice. Check this out.
Ty Kelly, welcome to your daily Olympic recap, your personal rundown of yesterday's most thrilling Olympic moments. Since you're a swimming fan, let's head right to the pool. Team USA secured a stunning victory in the men's 4x100-meter medley relay, smashing the world record. Over at the diving venue, Krista Palmer showcased resilience and skill, overcoming past knee surgeries to qualify for the women's springboard final. Meanwhile, a tough break for Canada's Pamela Ware as a failed final dive scored 0, ending her bid for the final. Check out these highlights from yesterday's action.
Al Michaels has not passed away, guys. He's alive, okay? But this is a way to pay Al for him to not do any work. Isn't that it's amazing?
That's the future,
They're going to pay Al, and he's okay with it.
Yeah.
He says it's weird, but I'm okay with it. He don't have to do a damn thing, and he's going to get paid.
It's funny you said that. Like when the Drake and Kendrick beef first started, one of my biggest problems with Drake, in his first song, when he went after Kendrick and the beef started, he used AI of Snoop.
Yep, and Tupac.
He used AI of Snoop and Tupac. Now, the Tupac part I thought was weird.
Yeah.
Snoop part was even weird. Snoop's alive.
Exactly, yeah.
Snoop's alive. Why do you need to do this? So anyway, but now getting back on track. In this case, it makes sense. If you don't want Al Michaels up there looking old or forgetting his lines.
Or paying him.
We're paying him.
Yeah.
And it's a free check.
Think about it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to go to Paris. He doesn't have to travel. He doesn't have to wake up. He doesn't have to be on set.
He's got a voice record. They just take his sample and do it.
100%.
But that's the future.
I'm not mad at it.
The next 10 years are going to get so weird.
It's going to get scary.
It's in so many different manners. I mean,
is it
from what we can believe online to, I'm sorry, this is ridiculous. There are new young voices that need to be heard. That's the way of the world. We don't live forever. You give new people an opportunity to establish their voice. and retreading this. I'm sorry, it sounds like him, but it doesn't sound like him.
Yeah, it sounds.
You know,
the same thing with AI is it always comes across as soulless.
Yeah.
Because it is.
100%.
It's the exact sound, but it doesn't have the soul.
Synthetic,
it doesn't have the little extra that you know that's a person. You can always tell.
Is he that good? I mean, let's bring back Howard Cosell if we're going to bring somebody back.
I'm with you, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. I would bring. Listen,
Keith Jackson.
I'd pay to hear Keith Jackson call another
National
game,
championship,
and I'd pay to hear John Madden and Pat Summerall do an NFL game.
Well, Johnny Most over in L.A.
I'd pay.
In that case, bring back Vern Scully.
Yeah. Vince Scully? Sure.
But with
You're
that
right,
being
man.
said,
It's weird.
I was looking at it in a different space in terms of weird. Anson, you would appreciate this. Black Mirror on Netflix. You watch the show?
Yeah.
All right. They have one on
Predictive programming, my friend.
100%. They have one of their newer seasons. As a matter of fact, the newest season. It's called Joan is Awful.
Yeah.
And the episode's Joan is Awful. Basically, I think, what's her name? Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
Selma Hayek.
Yep, Selma Hayek.
So Selma Hayek and all these other actors and actresses sign waivers and sign documentation to let people use their name and image and likeness or use their voice and use all this. And watching this show, I don't want to ruin it for you, so I won't. But at the end of the day, the stuff that they were having her do, you're like,
you got to read the terms and
whoa,
conditions.
You got to read the terms and conditions. That's where I thought you were going. Them terms and conditions are gonna start getting people in trouble.
Big facts, man. It's only a matter of time. Like you said, Maz, they'll get to a point where you just pay to have somebody narrate it in whatever voice you
amazing.
want. So
you're right.
The best term. Go ahead.
No. Finish.
The best terms and conditions episode of anything so far is South Park.
Oh yeah.
South Park. When they did Apple and the human centipede.
Yeah, man. That's wild, man. That is wild.
It's funny, but it's also thought provoking. And that was
years ago.
That was like 2012, 13.
Years ago,
and conditions. Here we are 11, 12 years
People
later.
still doing it. Not looking at it.
We can't leave you today without telling you, of course, congratulations to Bobby Bonilla as he cashes another check from the New York Mets.
Best
but
contract.
Listen, look at this deal, guys. Put up. There's other guys getting paid today. Yeah. Read those things. Anson, you can read them.
Bobby Bonilla isn't alone in getting paid today from teams he no longer plays for. The Nats are paying Max Scherzer $15 million today. Ken Griffey Jr., my favorite player of all time, he gets paid his last payment of $3.59 from the Reds. If he doesn't get hurt anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
And then Manny Ramirez, $1.96 from the Red Sox. Newsflash. Those last two haven't played with those teams in over 15 years.
Anybody still paying you, Bray?
You said what?
Anybody still paying you?
No. Unfortunately, I chose football before they were paying baseball money.
Yeah.
I'm a little early.
Yes, you
A
did.
little early. But you know what?
That's tough.
More power to them. They had attorneys. They had fathers because, Bobby Miller's father was in baseball, got him. And, Ken Griffey Jr.'s dad probably told him the same thing. So
Max Scherzer is getting paid by 3 teams.
Solid.
He's getting over
paid by
60.
The Mets, the Nats, and
the Rangers.
The Rangers.
He's over $60 million this year.
Sheesh.
Max Scherzer.
That's a great agent.
Attaboy.
That agent is fire.
Yep.
That's
fantastic.
That's a hell of a contract.
If he only stayed here with us and won a World Series.
Yeah.
Couldn't pay everybody.
Yep.
So close.
Couldn't pay everybody.
Got it
And
done
now
for the Nats,
we leave that with the Tigers that we have now. And it's always great doing the show with you, man.
I missed you on Friday. I'm
Looking
looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow.
We'll have
my
fun
friend.
this week. KG, Power Neck, Pete will be in the booth as well, so this will be a fun week. And then the man, the myth, the legend that runs the show is the best producer I know. He is my guy, Tom Mazaway.
Thanks, guys.
Always an honor.
Thanks,
brother.
Bray.
Mazzy.
Always an honor. And we
Thanks,
appreciate
baby.
you guys in the chat. Woodward Sports Network, we are trying to make things happen. This is Ermanni Networks with Maz, Anson Wells filling in all this week. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be back.